morning everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. Today's reading is going to be who thinks they have a soul connection with you. And I have to say thank you and sorry to Tarot Ingi because I stole this title because I thought it was a really nice title for a reading. So her reading is fantastic. You need to check that one out. You've got three choices. You've got number 1, seagull. Number 2, mushroom. And number 3, the little red flower. So if you want to take your choice, and then we'll see what comes up. Pile number 1, I'm going to start. I've just had my sister coming in and show me mince pies and Bailey's cream, so I went a little bit fuzzy and had to switch off the dealing then, so you may have a little jump in the dealing. So who thinks that they have a soul connection with you? What I'm going to do first, I'm going to look at the person to see if any of it rings true, and if not, maybe you want to change pile. But what I get a feeling of is somebody who has a spiritual look on life, or a spiritual take on life. Great start, eh? You've got the star, you've got the Sagittarius here. That mixed together gives somebody a rather free outlook on life, and normally somebody who likes to somehow put their little porky fingers into different types of spirituality or religion, or to have some sort of belief, some sort of mindset that they like to accumulate, try out, and then push out into the outer world. They've got to have some sort of belief system inside themselves. The Sagittarius and the star is like an Aquarius and Sagittarius field, of course. And I always get these two together when I'm thinking of people who are interested in, and I never know the correct term, please excuse me, I know I should look it up, Native American culture. And I can remember Adam and the Ants, all Aquarius, to the fact in some ways, and there's a feeling of this here slightly, that he tipped himself over the balance with regards to what I think feels like raw electric energy. It's like trying to harness lightning inside you when you've got too much Uranus. It isn't pleasant. It's not pleasant. It makes you feel like somebody's, like a wound up toy and it's wound too tight. So I guess that's where, he had, I'm assuming he had, I think he had, I don't know, I haven't looked at this for a long time. He had a lot of Aquarius in him, I think, maybe 4 or 5 planets even. And I think he found life quite difficult with regards to the way that he conducts himself. But at that time, when he brought out his first album, which was, hundreds of years ago, he was different. Not many people put the Native American drum beat and punk together. So there's also a feeling of here with the Aquarius and Sagittarius of, why am I thinking Roy Orbison? That is not who I'm thinking of. The bloke from the Doors is not called Roy Orbison. What is his name? Jim Morrison. Yeah, he's got the same ring to it. Jim Morrison, once again, he had, and I keep wondering what this is, because I'm slightly sort of obsessed with where people are coming from and where they grasp things, and I'm thinking it can't just be an interest in Native American culture. It can't just be that specific, and I'm trying to think and wonder where these parts of their personality come from and why they choose certain things to be somewhat obsessed with. And it must be an idea of culture, freedom, and having that taken away from you. The Aquarius is that rebellious edge that feels like it needs to fight something, and so I'm not going to go into this, but that is probably where that comes from. And when I'm saying this, I'm thinking of James Victoria's Christopher Columbus poster. Yeah, that is a cracker. That is such a good poster. And then you've got this with the seven of You've got this with the 7 of rats. This is not the 7 of rats. This is mice and it's 23. Why do they look like rats? Why do they make their tails so big? So what I'm getting here with the Lenormand rats with the star and Aquarius and Sagittarius is somebody with big energy, somebody who fights for their own freedom, somebody who's quite nervous and quite intense in some way, somebody who's quite jittery, and somebody who probably shoots their mouth off and doesn't realise they've done it till it's come out. This is nervous energy, and I know quite a few people with this type of energy, most of them still young. This is the type of person that has to run before they sit down and do something. Oh my God, that's me. This is the type of person. My daughter had a party, and we've got a field behind us, had a party in the field, and everybody was doing the normal teenage thing of drinking and being loud around a fire and all that sort of thing. But there was one boy who's actually a farmer, so there's got to be earth in there as well. He is really sweet boy, very open, full of energy, and actually hurtling himself over hay bales. I went for a shower, and he's like, this is fantastic, everything's lovely. A lot of energy, positive energy being pushed through. It's almost like a sieve on your head, and you've got cosmic energy coming down, and the holes are really big. You're getting a whole lot of it. This type of person here, who I think has a soul connection with you, gets messages from elsewhere. They may not even know it, they may not even acknowledge it, but this person will have downloads in some way, shape or form, whether it's in some sort of artistic sense, whether it's dreams, whether it's premonitions. That's what I'm picking up. As I said, quite a spiritual power. And you've also got here the karmic soul tribe. So these qualities in this person may be very much reflected in you as well. So it's like two people humming to the same beat and coming together. Yesterday, somebody off Patreon said to me, it was their favourite book. My memory is so bad. And there was a quote there that to me was quite, you can't get it into a cookbook format and understand astrology in some ways, but it was a quote that was somehow very romantic but also very soulful, and I thought that person, oh my God, no it wasn't, but yes it was, right, wait for this, and this is a long story. Power number 1, if you don't like long trailing stories, click onto another one, because I'm full of them at the beginning, then they disappear. Somebody gave me quotes from Harry Potter and said, these are my favourite quotes. And as I'm reading that, I'm thinking, those quotes are so Aquarius. They were profound, but they have a sort of, not like a love of humanity, but a love of love and how it serves us as a whole in them. That's what I thought. And I know that J.K. Rowling's Aquarius rising. And I just thought, yeah, that is it. So I thought this lady who gave me these quotes must be Aquarius. And yes, she had 3 Aquarius planets, because we are drawn to the energy that it is us very often. Very often. And J.K. Rowling, Aquarius rising. And my brothers say she looks like you to me. Thanks. That's what, well, she does actually. Right, so your person to me, the person that thinks they have a soul connection with you, I think has high energy. They may actually somehow struggle with the energy that's coming to them, with the mice there, with the star there being Aquarius and Sagittarius being quite outgoing. This may be somebody that says the wrong thing in parties, but is fun to be with, somebody exciting. And there's this karmic soul tribe, as I've just said, there's a huge connection between the pair of you. This person sees you as what is termed, and whatever it means, a soulmate, somebody who hums to the same beat. There's something to do with communication here, which wouldn't surprise me with these planets. It may be nervous communication, but there's something in the things you've said, the way that you've talked to each other, or a particular conversation that you've had, that this person has clicked in and thought, you are one of my kind in some way. And there's a feeling here of, and this is quite an extreme feeling of playfulness. You know, somebody that likes to play with life and likes to play with situations, likes to play with relationships. This is somebody who feels that they may be older than you. You've got the King of Pentacles here, you've got the Strength card. This person is quite nervous. This person probably has difficulty honing in their energy. This person may be OCD, that type of personality, or even like Tourette's with the Aquarius there and the 7 of rats. 7 of rats. But it's high energy. It's high energy, but in being there, it makes this person alive. And they think you are that extra little spark that in some way you're like two of a kind. That's what I'm getting here. What they'd like to say to you is that amongst this connection, which feels quite electric, there's a feeling here that the connection between you is possibly, you could be older, both of you could be older, or at least one of you is maybe your person, but there's a feeling here that there's a bind that, what's the quote of Lord of the Rings? Something like the ring that binds. There's something about that here. It's like there's a very deep connection here. Very deep. And I guess with these cards here, and the Karmic Soul Tribe, Strength and the King of Pentacles, that this connection amongst probably quite flippant conversations and probably quite winky eyes, winky eyes flirting, this person has made, I guess, a stand in their heart and said, this is the one for me. Because these are strong cards and these are mature cards, and these are something below the surface where they're not just using animal instincts, where they're not just using basic drive to relate to somebody. There's more to it. They see you as somebody they will remember, even if you're apart, even if the situation doesn't get together, even if the situation is together and you separate, you will always be on this person's mind, because these cards are quite profound amongst somebody here who likes to look for profanity, who likes to look for depth. So playful, slightly wild, may come across as unstable to everybody else, but not to you. You can just relate to it as being a sieve with big holes, somebody who is getting a lot of information. And this is somebody, I guess, who may have to do outdoor sports or education just to get themselves, bless me, toned down in some way. Now, how do they see you? They see you as not being with them. They see you as being separate in some way. There's some sort of feeling of being trapped with regards to communication. There's a feeling here of things not being able to be aired, not being clear, not being said. And there's a strong feeling here that there's something between the pair of you that actually feels quite hard. It's like two souls that are very similar from the same pod that have split, and you recognise each other, but there's something between you that is keeping you apart. So this feels quite painful to me. It feels like things that can't be said, things that are left unsaid. It feels like it's unclear. It's unclear, and there's distance. There's distance here with an air of danger. This is like James Bond. There's a difference here with the Nine of Swords here in the centre, and this is what's between you. You've got how they see you. You've got these cards. You've got cards for endings, anxiety, feeling trapped, just basically, to me, it feels like separation. And you've got that with the moon, which is making me think that it's the way they see you is they can't quite grasp you and they're not near you, is what I'm thinking here. And then I'm looking at cards, what's going on between you. And then the central card is the Nine of Swords with the little turtle on the beach with the impending doom wave. So it feels like if this was to get together, because it's got quite a high feeling anyway, it's like you have to almost pretend you're not attracted to each other because you've got masks and the Nine of Pentacles. So that could be a work situation. It's like two sweet people that see each other as the same, that in some way have to pretend that something else is going on between the pair of you. But the Strength and the King of Cups is like a huge pull, huge pull. This feels like flirty. This feels like excitement in a situation that it's almost like you feed off that, because you both probably, if you're quite similar, quite enjoy that titillation, stimulation in some way. But it wouldn't surprise me whether this person trips over their words when they're talking to you because of this nervous energy here. But this person doesn't like to keep... The Aquarius is quite fixed and quite self-contained and maintained in many ways. But the Sagittarius is not. And you've got that Sagittarius with Mercury and Sagittarius with the Eight of Wands here. So there may be something... And with these rats... these are rat mice. There's something here where they may have actually blurted out to you in a way that you probably, you would have spotted it with these two cards here, that they feel a deep connection with you, because you have got the karmic soul tribe, the strength, and the King of Pentacles here, and that's a steady connection amongst quite a jittery verbal exchange or physical output in some way. Playful, fun. This is somebody who said something pretending that it's in jest and really it's not, and you've picked that up straight away. But this does feel like this soul connection is there for you both to learn in some way, because it feels like there's distance, it feels like there's not deception, but it's not clear. There's lack of clarity here amongst a very stable feeling. It's like the pull must be really strong for you to both feel this, both be so similar, but be distant from each other. There's a very strong feeling as well of same-sex relationships in here too. This energy is quite exciting. I'm looking over here because I did write some notes on this, which is not like me. I'm trying to be more mature in my old age. They're not helping me anyway. I just looked at them. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, they're not helping me. I'm looking for like physical things. How would you know this person? And then I wrote a few things down about the rat mice here, and I'm thinking nervous, somebody who bites their nails, somebody who's quite tense, somebody who's quite restless, somebody who works a lot. You know, they just can't get enough out of a situation because they feel that there's no cut-off point, there's no point to relax here. And you've also got a feeling here with these little rat mice that dark hair, grey hair, was it peppery hair? Receding hair, just hair. This person's got a lot of hair. This person could be quite hairy. This person could have a long tail. You know, who knows? No, I'm joking there. There is a feeling here of two people that are very similar, two people that function on what I would say quite a tense vibration. And that is, to me, feels like somebody who can spot other people's vibrations as well, because it's very aware. It's not so smooth, even though I think that you both come across quite smooth if it's a work situation, but when you talk to each other it's like a Venus-Uranus transit, or yeah, and it makes you feel like love at first sight, high as kites is what I'm thinking here. But deep down there's something between the pair of you that connects in a very profound and strong way, but there's separation between you. I think you're not together, and you probably may not even understand why you're not together, apart from the fact you may have to, it may be dangerous with other people watching, you may have to put some sort of face on, or if you were together it would rock a situation that's already established. Okay. You two are from the same pod. To me, it feels two people from the same pod. It's like a love of freedom, a love, this is like, doesn't mean anything to me when I say a love of humanity, because I'm trying to think, what does that actually mean? You know, it's one of those things you say that doesn't really have a meaning when you think of Aquarius. But if you put it into a general outlook to make sure that when they leave the world, it's better off for them being here than not being here. You know, they just like make little stamps in little ways to improve things. They do it in a different way from Sagittarius or Virgo. They're very much involved. I think Aquarius is probably more intellectually stimulated by the thought of it, but they've got to have some sort of earth in there to make it any use. Probably somebody who, you know, there could be something they write, it could be something that they do that makes an impact on people, maybe a way that they lead people in some way. But if your person's a leader and this doesn't resonate, please go to pile 3, because I know that's where that one's going. I saw 3 cards beforehand. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to write what would this person say to your soul, or what would they say? Just pretend you're asleep. And which you can get this, you know, you sort of get situations before you meet people as well, when you feel as if they're talking to you in your dreams, and then you meet them and you think, oh my God, that is that person, almost, you know, details exactly. What would they say to you? Their soul to yours would be... Let me just switch off and let me think. This is quite a simple one. I don't think it's going to be that long, to be honest. Okay, I don't want this to look like it's the sort of writing on a sex toy that comes through the post, but play with me, enjoy me. Even if we are apart right now, it doesn't matter. I feel you, and that's enough. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 1. Thank you very much for spending time with me. Bye. Okay, I'm just going to start talking here. Who thinks they have a soul connection with you? This person feels like they're on the move a lot. These are the cards for them in different sort of, there's different places for different things. But you've got the Fool, you've got the World, you've got the Chariot, you've got the Fool again, and the Knight of Swords. I mean, Knights are movement, and all the other cards are movement here. So this person could either be in and out of your life, they could drive for a living, they could just generally live abroad, or you could see them, they could be out of town. There's a feeling here of either ships that pass in the night, or it's part of their personality, or part of their job, part of their career. It's movement. Strong feeling of movement here. The Fool, which is Aquarius, has an exciting feel for it, but with the Capricorn there, Aquarius Capricorn people tend to be quite cool-natured in many ways, but they seem to have an air of kindness about them because grounded, and then the Aquarius likes to, in some way, make things right and connect. Difficult to explain. I've got a few people in mind. One's a headmistress. One was a headmistress who looked, they're normally quite, I'm going to say regal then, but normally quite austere in the way that they dress and how they come across, because this is called energy that's quite dignified. I'm thinking Daniel Craig as well. He's not Capricorn, but he's got Aquarius in him. I know he has, and his Aries and Pisces. But when he's interviewed, I always think he's quite distant and quite cool. As in cold. No, not cold, yeah, maybe cold, which is not true. I've got a fantastic story, which I'll tell you very quickly. And my sister knows a woman who works for a charity, and there was something to do with him camping with a group of, could have been kids, I don't know, I might have made that little bit up in my mind. And she had to share a tent with him, and said he was the most lovely man, and they met later on in a pub. He said, here's my number, give me a call. They met later on in a pub, and he gave her a big check for the charity, said don't say anything about it. Just a very sort of humanitarian, but almost held back personality, dignified, I suppose, here. So your person might be quite dignified, but maybe female too, because you've got the woman card here. If they're not female, and we're talking about soul links, this has got something to do with a very strong intuitive connection in some way, which to me, this energy is quite fascinating. It's difficult to explain what I'm feeling, but there's something in, I guess, the lack of excitement about it. It's like looking back at past dreams. It's like looking back at memories. It's like looking back at connections. And in some way with the Aquarius as well, there may be some note-taking involved here. But there's a feeling here of you knew this person was coming. This person knew you were coming. So I don't know if it's somebody that does actually assess patterns in some way, or whether they just do it in a natural way, where they just know. They just knew that you were the person at the right time. Yeah, and the World card here. Your person's birth date may very much add up to 9 here. I mean, the World card here is like ending things as well. And this energy has a feeling of knowing. And I know that's very much used for the Aquarius, I know. But this has very much a very intuitive, very insightful feeling about it, that this person knew you were the one, more so than Power 1 even. And I don't think your person likes to be tied down. And probably what they would want to say to you is that even though the connection may have been quite fluid in some way, that you may have been in and out of connection, that you may not be able to catch them very much. It makes me think of that George Clooney film when he's going on those flights all the time. You know, when he sort of comes into an airport and stays with somebody, then somebody else. It has that feeling that this connection may be in and out in some way, but their life may be quite exciting. The person that you know, maybe travel involved. I've said that already. There's also a feeling here of being quite not only cool-natured, but also giving people space. This person gives you your space in some way. This person may be hardworking as well. But what I'm picking up, how they see you, let's go to how they see you first, because the bit that's going on between you is probably... I'm going to say it's quite fierce in some way, what's going on between you. I don't know if this may not apply because I'll show you in a minute. How they see you, we're talking about them having an air of dignity. There's something about you that's far more grounded. The connection between the pair of you has got something to do with when they're seeing your soul, that your inner self, it has a feeling of stability. They have a feeling of stability too, because there's the Capricorn looking at the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So this is recognition that you're quite a solid person, somebody they could rely on, somebody they could build something with, I think, here. And probably in a life that's quite shifty, that may need some roots here. It does make me think, Up in the Air, isn't it, that George Clooney film? You know, when he tries to sort of settle down and get some roots at the end of the film and it's not part of his personality, this very much feels like your person, and how they're viewing you is possibly, as well with the World card here, at the end of some sort of transition in their life, that they're looking for stability and they see you as being as equally dignified as them. This lady here has got a nose in the air, and the Ace of Pentacles is stability. So there's something about you that is very attractive with regards to wanting to be not cocooned. They wanting to be... I don't know. I get a feeling here of somebody accumulating lots of things together and in some way putting them into a bag and staying still with them. It's like they've had lots of experience. They may have had lots of different partners, but when they see somebody, which I guess is you, it feels like they want to almost like push that energy into one spot and hold it there rather than scattering it out. Now, this is where I'm looking between the pair of you here. This is the one that I said looked quite fierce. What's going on between the pair of you has a feeling of danger. You've got the Five of Swords with two fighting scorpions, with one being backed off the cliff. You've got the Knight of Swords here with the big cobra. Yeah, I got it. Looking at the mongooses, looking at the mongoose about to strike, and you've got the caution card here. So to me, there's something between the pair of you that feels like you could cross lines or boundaries that may shuffle up the rest of your life in some way. Almost like you could pick the cards up and just flick them into the air with regards to how you both set your life out. This would affect you, I guess, more than them. This person feels that there's a connection between the pair of you because you're very similar, but you're doing something that's more stable than them. They're still a little bit flittering, a little bit scattered, but there's a feeling here like pile number one, they can't get closer to you at the moment because there's something else in the way, I guess. I don't know what this caution card means here, or the caution cards mean here. Yeah, to me, it could be, and you know, yet people don't want to say third party, I'm going to say it. It could be an affair because you've got the Queen of Cups here and you've got the Seven of Swords, which is, you know, the first thoughts are affair there. You try not to say it, but that one's coming at me. But there is a very strong feeling that this person is going through some sort of transit, some sort of progression where they're finding a different part of themselves, For instance, you could have their sun coming out of Aquarius and going into Capricorn. So they may be, and the Fool card's a big cracker up there as well, they may be quite Aquarius in some way, but if they're going into Capricorn, there's an admiration for you in the way that you play your earthy parts out in life. But you do not want to be played with. They know that, they can tell, although they feel there's a connection there, that they can't play with you, and there's something that they want to play with. There's something in between you that feels quite hallowed ground. It feels quite, they can't get there. But then that probably adds to the pull, I guess. There could be a connection to do with distance here. I mean, you've got so many travel cards here. And the Fool card twice as well. It feels almost like a new insight to them with regards to this connection. It's like you could be their Aquarius transit in some way. Because you've got the Fool card twice here. And it feels fresh and it feels new, and it feels like they're waking up to parts of themselves that they hadn't quite discovered, and you're showing them the way. I mean, my sister came to stay the other day, and she said to me, she said, "What, Lindsay, why am I always everybody's Pluto transit?" She said, whenever people have Pluto transits, I'm in their life, and it always feels really hard because she's just, she's very Scorpio. She's just playing it out anyway. I said, yeah, that's because she's got like 4 planets in Scorpio. She was saying as well, and I think I said this in another reading, that she was really angry with a situation that's happened recently where she was somebody's Pluto transit, and she's sitting at the table going, I just feel like a blue flame, as in like I'm going to burn cold and then get them at the end. Anyway, let's not go into that. She's probably listening. Right, so this person thinks they have a soul connection with you because I think they're in flux. They're seeing something in you that I think that they can identify with. There's something very beautiful and controlled about you, but they also get the feeling that they can't play with you. It feels like you've got your boundaries and you're very secure in them. There's a very strong feeling that your person may be scattered, or maybe, as I've just said, in life changes. There's a very strong feeling that your person is very intuitive, or could be very feminine in a way that they're known for it. That they're known for either their intuition or their insight, or they just are female. You're just straightforward female here. And there's some danger between the pair of you. So that's the person I think that you've got a soul connection with. And I hope that helps. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to write a little whisper to you. What would their soul whisper to yours? I'm going to switch off and have a think. Hold on. Okay, pile number 2. I've put down here what they would actually, the soul would say to you is, you are where I want to go and part of who I want to be. I know I feel unstable to you and there may be a fear involved in our connection, but the pull and the times we are together make an impact on me. So this is somebody who feels that they can learn lessons from you, I guess. Somebody who is probably a little bit more, as I've said before, scattered than you. Somebody who actually feels you, don't take this the wrong way, in their sleep or in their dreams, or when they're looking into your eyes, or when they just feel you. They know there's something between the pair of you, even if you can't get together through some difficulty. And there's also a feeling here of you being more protective of them than vice versa. There's more of a youthful air about them, and there's more of a protective, more mature feeling about you. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. I hope some of that feels right. Thank you for watching. Bye. This has got a really, pile 3, this has got a really strong feel about it. This is like the type of connection that I feel that books are made of. Those sort of very old-fashioned love stories like Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights, those Bronte sisters sort of love stories, which I love. This has got a feeling because there's the Emperor and Taurus to me is old-fashioned. The way that they look at life, the way that they look at the relationships is very much I'm top dog. Whether it's male or female, it's like I'm top dog, and for bad or for worse, what's the phrase? For good or for worse? For good or bad? I don't know. you get the good points and you get the bad points with this. This is a feeling of somebody who's quite mature, quite experienced. You've got the lilies there as well. Somebody who may be very calm, very poised, but very established in who they are as a person. Probably somebody who's a very good judge of character, and somebody thinks they have a very karmic, possibly, or very soulful connection with you. And it feels big. They could be older. They could be, I mean, you've got the Emperor there and you've got the Lilies card. So I'm thinking there could be grey hair involved. There could be somebody who like runs a family business type of feeling here. I'm going to tell you a little story in the middle of this. My daughter's working, I'll say it quickly. My daughter was working at a pub. She's 18 and her other friend is probably about 18 with her like giggly girls, and they were getting excited because the Marines were coming into the pub, and this girl was going, oh my God, did you know the Marines are coming in? This is so exciting. My daughter knew what was happening. So she, yes, it is exciting. And in came the Marines, and they were all, I don't know if they were Marines, there was like, they were soldiers in some way. I don't really know what type of soldiers, and they were all like 80, 90 years old. My daughter's looking at them thinking, yeah, I knew that was happening, and her little friend's going, oh no, oh my gosh. Anyway, this has a feeling of maturity, and this has a feeling of somebody who can fight for what they want, is what I'm thinking here. This person has genuine love for you here. You've got the Ace of Cups. What would they want to say to you? The Ace of Cups is a declaration of a connection that makes them feel alive and that feels very romantic. This person is an old romantic. Yeah, that's the correct word. And somebody as well, possibly, and I'm saying for better or for worse, somebody who thinks that that people should be in their proper place in life. They should be the provider, very much in this pile here. They probably have a deep respect for money with Taurus there, a deep respect for stability with the Emperor and Taurus together, but also a deep respect for connections and love. And this is why I'm saying a traditional old-fashioned relationship here, which make fantastic love stories in today's world. It doesn't sit so well. That's part of life, isn't it? Things move on, but it can still... it may be a good book. It may be a good book here. Now, the connection between the pair of you feels, and it doesn't surprise me here with this energy, very physical. It feels like it's quite obsessive. This person has strong sexual draw to you. This person has, I guess, a very physical pull towards you. And you've got the Three of Pentacles twice, so I don't know whether you work together or whether there's three people involved in a situation. There's some sort of feeling here. Yeah, it is the three. This one always makes me think of a coven, like a group of people and the birds with the masks on going around in circles. It's almost as well, I've got a feeling of a bit of voodoo about it. It's like trying to whip something up, trying to make something work. So that's what I'm getting is the feeling between the pair of you. But this person who has what I guess a view of a soul link between you. Sorry, that's not very good English. Is quite an intense person, quite a controlling person, but somebody that loves big and somebody that has genuine love and affection towards you. Somebody who has an obsessive feel towards you that's quite sexual as well. And it's almost like they're trying to whip something up in the background to make sure this connection continues, or this connection goes further, or that they want you to understand what they're feeling. This isn't somebody that hides their feelings, but this is somebody, if there's like a connection that can't be together through some sort of moral issue, this person wouldn't overstep the mark. This is somebody quite conventional, somebody quite traditional here. They see you as being able to match them with regards to the affection that you both put into a relationship, but they also see you as, I don't know if this feels like slightly bruised or just contemplating the whole situation. So this person, I guess, is quite very well controlled with regards to how they outpour their emotions, even if they're feeling them, which I think, there's also a Scorpio feeling of somebody that feels underneath the surface in big, strong amounts, but doesn't reveal it until the correct time. So I don't know if this feels right to you. So this person could be retired. This person could be like a veteran type of person, or just protective in some way. It could be part of their job. You know, they may, with the Sacred Heart and the Emperor here, it could be somebody who protects people in some way. Somebody, that could go into so many different ways, couldn't it? So many different. With Taurus, I'm thinking finances, you know, protects you with regards to finances. But with the Emperor and the Sacred Heart, I'm thinking more emotional. It could be something to do with a caring profession here, but they will be top dog in this caring profession. They would be like the head of their department in some way or other. And established. It feels like calm, it feels controlled, it feels like a strong personality, this person that likes you. This person who feels a connection is probably older than you. And they have strong, strong feelings towards you. This is like an Eros South Node feeling, whether you possibly in past lives have had a strong sexual relationship and they can feel it in this life. This one hasn't got the feeling as the past two piles of something between you that is keeping you apart. This has just got a feeling of a strong personality, a strong connection, and then wondering what you're feeling. Because the King of Cups down here is they can see that you're quite an emotional person. They can see that you're quite a mature person, which would basically tick their box in some way. But with the Hangman for you down here and the Five of Swords, there's a feeling here that they're not getting the answers from you that they're looking for. And this person will do with nothing less than exactly what they think they should be getting. So I don't know if there's been a slight argument or there's been something. This could be really simple, like eye contact where you looked away too quick, because this person, I guess, is quite perceptive, looking at you to see whether you're attracted, and then you've moved out of a situation very quickly and they thought, well, they're not really. But I guess with this personality, which I guess is quite strong and quite stubborn, that would probably drive them even further, because there is a feeling here to conquer and control, because the Emperor and Taurus. I forget how possessive Taurus are until I meet one, and it's in, like, not with my relationships, but in relationships in general, because they do need to possess. They need to hold things. They need to touch things. They don't like it when things are out of their eyesight, out of their view. If their darling's partying, they want to know what's going on. Strong, strong physical attraction from your person here. So what would they say to you in a little whisper from your soul, from their soul to yours? Hold with me a moment. Okay, what I've put down here is, I'm controlled but I feel deeply. I'm passionate and you know it. I feel a strong physical, emotional connection with you, and I can wait for you to stop playing games. There's not so much the game playing here as in a bad sense, but there feels as if there's been some sort of upset here and you may have retracted your affection in some way. So pile number 3, I hope that feels right. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you for watching. Bye.